we're back. We're back in a new cave, and I'm having all sorts of issues as I run off of a new computer right now. New setup. Everything is new. Everything fucking new, which is really, really cool. Really, really nice, but making me tear out my fucking hair in the morning. As everything that could go wrong does go wrong, of course. I get a wireless keyboard. What happens? You turn it on and it decides not to work. What happens when your mouse decides not to work and it's wireless as well? I don't know. You have to plug them in. So that's what I'm doing right now. Anyways, we've got many things to be speaking about today. All sorts of new things to be looking at, of course, with the month of August that did just begin. We got new updates on the monthly, new just general updates on monthly returns and all these sort of long-term running things that we've been having. But yes, I do want to humbly request a little bit of patience if I do fuck up a little bit in the stream, simply because, like I said, all of this stuff is new right now. And while it is extremely fucking cool, and I'm really happy with how it's turned out, my God, man, that is not Sauron. That is Saruman. How dare you? How dare you? Do you even watch Lord of the Rings or read Lord of the Rings, more importantly? Oh, dear Lord. Anyways, yes, Hobbit knows. Strong post content username ratio bro. There's some people mad in the chat who request, no, they demand, Krown, you better be bullish on, oh my God, Cardano. And he's calling Cardano the best crypto play possible, and Litecoin as well, and symbol DOT. Yes, I think you forgot fucking Pulse Chain and Hex as well. God damn, man. Yeah, great market we have here. Anyways, man, yeah, if you're looking for certainty, I cannot offer you such things. There's no such thing as certainty in trading markets or investing. There is only probabilities. If you cannot understand such simple concepts, then I pity the fool. And well, I don't know, you're welcome to stay here, but honestly, he's like literally fucking not just demanding, but threatening people will leave if you do not be certain right now. Dude, hopefully you just leave. That'd be great. That'd be amazing. Anyways, I'm kidding, man. I mean, actually, I'm not kidding, but just in general. Anyways, yeah, you know, let's get over to the actual live stream over here, because we do have a lot of things to be looking at on price action. You know, Bitcoin obviously closing below the monthly pivots for the month of July does not allow me to, with strong probabilities, call a macro low for the month of July. Now, do I still think Bitcoin can have a macro low here? Yes, absolutely. In fact, I do think that Bitcoin still has a path for such things. But ultimately, in the short term, I do have to remain bearish on Bitcoin for the short term and the medium term here, as long as Bitcoin is below, most importantly, that mid-band on the Revin Ribbons indicator. That is the most important thing that I see on the board right now. And right now, Bitcoin is living below it. There is some hopium in the short term that it certainly could have a closure above there today. There are some signals, but until price action actually does that, which would require a daily closure on CME, very specifically above 64,561, I cannot even be short-term bullish, and I do have to be looking for further downside. But I do think that the downside is likely limited. I don't think Bitcoin's likely to make new lows from here personally, but as far as the actual setups go, as far as what the chart is actually telling us, it does not have that in there just right now. My opinion is such. I do think that Bitcoin could have some downside here to 61 or 60, or you know, somewhere around 61,000 bucks, give or take $500 from that number. But ultimately, do I think Bitcoin's gonna make new lows from here? No. If Bitcoin makes new lows from here, will I be able to position, you know, accordingly? Yes, absolutely. That is what it means to not be certain without actual data in the background giving you that strong certainty. Yes, indeed, you can actually take such positions. I understand. And man, your mind's going to be real fucking blown when we talk about options, because goddamn, if you have certainties with options, you done goofed up. That's perhaps the worst thing that you can do with options, because options retain their magic when you do not have certainty. And that way you can actually make, you know, what could be just massively terrible directional calls into actual profitable positions. Anyways, let's go through the opening ceremonies here. Let's start it off with our nice little live market analysis. And of course, we can see a couple different major scenarios right here. You know, I've kind of already outlined this with, of course, the Revin Ribbons midband. Scenario A, Bitcoin closing back above that 64,522 number. It doesn't necessarily have to happen today, by the way. That can happen either later this month or perhaps, you know, maybe it's tomorrow. I'm just saying that is the major line of the sand for daily closure as of right now. Scenario B, obviously another rejection right here. Still does, of course, you know, lay out the nice road towards that $61,000 number. I'm just going to say 61,000 bucks. Understand it's a range between about 60,500 to 61,500-ish region. That is an area that I think does deserve some, you know, some love, I guess, or just, I don't know, just that's where I'm looking for. It's an area of interest, let's say. Yeah. Anyways, moving on from there, got the, I believe, oh, actually, no. Yes. Yes, there we go. Yeah, so macro, U.S. manufacturing posts strongest expansion in four plus years. AI demand is surging, which is obviously good. I maintain my position that the economy is strong. I know that people in general, like some people, don't feel like it's strong for them, and that is very, very true. But on average, I mean, it quite literally is. I'm sure everyone already knows this as well from last week. Coldcard got hacked, or they didn't really necessarily got hacked. They just got exploited, I suppose. Hopefully no one here actually lost money towards that, and hopefully no one just lost money in general. I mean, that is just fucking terrible. But from what I understand with Coldcard, it was an issue with the generation of the seed phrase. And one of the ways to protect yourself, there was actually a couple ways to protect yourself even in that instance. So I hope really that most people were not affected. But one of the ways to protect yourself was obviously to have like 100 dice rolls, which who the fuck does that? I mean, I don't even know really what that means, to be honest with you. And then the other one was to just have a passphrase on your wallet. And I think that would have also protected you as well. But other than that, what else we got over here? Miner TeraWulf signs a 20-year, $19 billion with a fucking B AI compute deal with Anthropic, which is kind of wild, man. That is a Bitcoin miner, by the way. And then, of course, for this week, the events coming up tonight, got the daily closure, of course. And then tomorrow, JOLTS job openings. Markets typically like to kind of move based off of that. It's not like a humongous thing, but market will take any excuse at this moment, especially during a very, very low volatile sessions. Of course, Wednesday, you got ISM services and the Fed's Cook and daily speech. And then, of course, Friday jobs report. That's probably the main event. That's probably the most important event coming up this week at least. Anyways, as far as my position goes, I'm still short $66,500 calls for Bitcoins. I can show that position right here. I'm going to probably close this at the end of the day. I don't really mind, or I don't really want to hold positions that have very, 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 very low amounts of a premium left on them. This one is still in profit, obviously, but basically, as long as Bitcoin's below $6,500 by end of week, August 7th, basically, I will retain the full maximum profit. But like I said, I'll probably close this, or at least start closing at least a little bit of this coming in later today, depending upon today's closure. I'll keep it open if Bitcoin's still below 64,450. But honestly, I just want the equity back in my, or the margin back in my account so I can start to take other trades. Speaking of such things, Central Command is actually running a trading competition right now. And I mean, just due to the lack of fucking players, there's actually a pretty good probability to win this guy. There's a 30,000 USDT prize pool right here. And the main thing is trading volume, and then of course, profit as well. That's going to be going for the next couple of weeks. Of course, you can find Central Command in the link in the description below. They use Bluffin to execute on, and it's all free as well. I mean, you can invoke the powers of AI, and we actually just upgraded the agent, and now it's like it's on par with Opus 4. Like it's good and it's fast. You can actually reason with it, and you can actually get legitimately good fucking information from it now, which is pretty damn cool. Anyways, other than that, let's get into the actual analysis of the day. Actually, I'll start it off over here with my Twitter post as of recent, because I did go over some August returns right here. So August, hey, get the fuck out of my face, you bastard. How dare you? How dare you get in the way of my own stream? Kidding. Anyway, by the way, did you see that that X is now having, or became a payment processor? I just got an invitation to, I guess, get a debit card through them. It's kind of crazy. What's up, Crypto Warlord and Matador MC and Great White Hype and Tex Mex Hex and Friend? Love the new background. Me too, man. I'm really enjoying it right now. And there's more to do as well. There's more to do indeed. Anyways, yeah, as far as August goes, median return is one of the worst actually for all months in Bitcoin land since about 2013, losing a median of 7.5%. And I do think that the median is the better measurement to be going off of here. Kind of my face is a little bit covering it right there, but you can see it just right above my face. September, traditionally the worst month of the year in terms of just likelihood to close negatively, but that one actually in terms of median is less than that. October, one of the best months typically, and November also rather strong historically, but that is including some nasty data. So what I did over here is I went and did another, I'm going to like my own post because I have very low self-esteem and I need to see more likes. I need to see more likes. Anyways, what I did right here is I worked with Claude to do what I've basically been doing in the past, which is go through each and every August, define whether it was a positive or closing month, then measure the returns and bifurcate it between positive and closing months. So what I'm doing here is I want to look at just positive August versus just negative August and see what the average and median was for those. So if August was a positive closing month, on average, it actually returned a fucking strong amount, man. 27.26%. Now, keep in mind, there's been 3 positive Augusts during that time, and one of them was plus 65%. You might say a bit of an outlier. The median, perhaps a little bit more likely, going to be 1380 right there, if it's even positive at all. In fact, we've seen 1, 2, 3, 4 negative Augusts in a row, and on average, they do lose about a little over 10%, and the median just under 9% right there. So I do think that that deserves some consideration. If we put that into terms of price action, let's see what that would look like, because of course, over here, we can do exactly such things as we do have the open for August. And let me just double check. Okay, so if it's a negative month, I fear that Mr. Peckham is going to get really mad if I talk about this. Oh, dear Lord, down to 57,000 bucks if that were to happen. I mean, if that happens, then not only does Bitcoin not have a macro low in, it is, well, it's obviously going a lot lower in my opinion. I mean, shit. If Bitcoin's got the macro low in, I really don't even expect it to go back down really even below like 59,000 bucks at this point. Again, that is just a personal assessment, but yeah, on the other end, if Bitcoin is bullish, I would say a little bit more realistic would be the 13 or so percent to the upside. Again, very, 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 very limited iterations right there, but that would be a little bit above 70,000 bucks. I still think that is possible here. And honestly, if Bitcoin is bullish, I do expect it to get to 70,000 bucks this month, realistically. What I'm trying to say is, look, if the Bitcoin macro low is in, I do actually expect up in August, and I do expect at least 69 and probably more like 71, 72 region. But for right now, you know, those are the stats. That is kind of the range as we do go forwards. And oh my God, if you are using your thinking mind right now, you could probably think of some option ranges at the end of this month, which probably still have some pretty damn good premium on them. Pretty damn simple and easy stuff right there as well. Anyways, other than that, yeah, there was one other post that I made right here. I thought that this was kind of interesting. Prediction markets are actually pricing 58% odds Bitcoin does trade under 60,000 this August. I went over here to Kalshi to validate this. So I'm going to go to the monthly right now, and unfortunately, Kalshi actually does have it below 60,000 in this case. Now it's at 54%. A little bit better than a coin flip, I suppose. But prediction marks I have found to be on Kalshi like quite good, and I know this because I've been abusing Kalshi recently. Look, I have a fucking gambling tendency just like everyone else here. It's just I don't do it usually with actual trading or investing. I try to do it with small dollars, like my fucking $100 account here on Kalshi, betting on these sort of things, which has been, dare I say, extremely fun. Fun enough to where I even got a fucking shill link from them too. That's in the description below. Basically, if you trade 50 bucks, they give you up to $500 in free money, I guess, which is kind of cool. I mean, if you just want to place like punt a little bit of small cash and get rid of that itch. Look, that's honestly what I've been doing, especially when things are a little bit more boring. My goal here, who knows if I'm going to accomplish this goal, because this is actually like quite difficult. My goal is to build up enough cash to buy an absurdly expensive firearm. And then I'm going to put it right there. It's going in the frame, no matter what, man, it's going in there. Anyways. Yeah, below 57,500, less than 29% probability. I would sell that. I would certainly sell that. Yeah, I don't think that that's going to happen. I mean, if it did, then there is much bigger issues. Above 67,500 for August is interesting as well. That is less than 50% at 48% right now. But yeah, anyways, just as far as looking at the like, I've gotten obsessed with this shit recently, to be honest with you. It's pretty fun. Look, don't gamble money that you can't afford to lose. I do like 50 bucks at a time on this shit. It quite literally is just for fun. Anyways, Bitcoin price range today, it is given a 71% probability to be above 63,500. I actually wouldn't mind selling that, not because I don't think it's going to do that, but because I do think there will be a pullback. You could probably buy those contracts a lot lower, make some money that way. On the other side, ranges, actually, whoa, very interesting right here. Yeah, given a quarter chance for both of these between 63.5 to 63,750. That is a hard one to get. That is a really hard one to get. I guess in these cases, you know what? I want to check out this. Let's go check out the HPDR and see what it says about today's probabilistic ranges. Where is my HPDR? You bastard, get over here. Here we go. There we go. And then we'll go through the actual analysis of the day. Let's go down to a daily, see what the daily is printed right now. Okay. Daily actually kind of likes this range between, Yeah, this is not going to be helpful, unfortunately, for Kalshi's ranges specifically, and I'm sure they do that on purpose. Your high probability range is between 62.3 to about 64.450. That's a lot bigger range than what they're giving you over here. It doesn't really seem too fair to me. Fucking bastards. And the weekly, yeah, even worse here. I mean, Jesus Christ. Anyways, let's get to the actual Bitcoin analysis of the day. Starting off over here, and let me get my notes out and flying around as well. There are still a couple things, I guess, in the hopium side for Bitcoin. Again, my analysis absolutely to the upside hinges upon Bitcoin's ability to even just reclaim the daily Revin Ribbons midband at 64.450. As long as Bitcoin's below there, I do have to remain with the downside bias in the short term. But there are a few supporting things that suggest that could happen today. Daily time frame over here does have some hidden bullish divergence developing on caretakers RSI. That would be confirmed if Bitcoin does finish the day here or higher, by the way. That is at 64,000 bucks. That could perhaps open up the possibility for tomorrow putting that in. And then, of course, if you recall from, I think it was a week or two ago, we did have this corrective setup over here. One of my most favorite corrective setups, the 5 EMA versus the 21 EMA. I'm talking about the red versus the yellow, respectively. When the red crosses the upside of the yellow 21 EMA, well, almost always you're going to get a corrected move to the green moving average as a minimum target before any sort of like major pullback below the previous trending higher low, which in this case was about 61,800. So right now, I mean, Bitcoin still has not violated that to the downside, and I would very much be looking for that target to get hit if and only if really being started by Bitcoin reclaiming the daily Revin Ribbons midband right here again. But yeah, you could see a path higher, and that would be, that would be to 67,000 bucks, maybe even a little bit more. Again, that is a minimum target after all. And then of course, when we go over here to the daily stochastic oscillator, we can see daily stochastic momentum will cross the upside for the first time around this zone since late June. If Bitcoin finishes today above 63,500. So, you could definitely see a path in the short term, but again, all hinges upon Bitcoin ability to really close above that Revin Ribbons midband. Until then, like I said, I got to remain with short-term downside. And, if we do see really rejection today, especially below 64,000 bucks, that really does open up the potential on Tuesday for Bitcoin to do what I see, it does a lot with these sort of candles right here, where it just fully retraces it, and then you get your actual trendy move down. You get your actual breakdown to the previous range low. That would be the $61,500 target. So, so for right now, all I got is those short calls. Still, I'm just letting them tick, expire. Not trying to do too much right there. Not trying to be smarter than the market right now. I'm waiting for the next most obvious trade. And when it comes to options, I'm happy to be patient as possible until I see one of those obvious signals, because then I'm happy to go, super heavy on size. And realistically, I mean, you really only need like 1 or 2 signals a month. I mean, really only 1 signal a month, honestly, if you do things properly to make a good amount of money. Anyways, if options talk doesn't make any sense to you at all, check out the Options 101 program. It's in the link description below. It's all free. So is the TA 101 program. It's all free. Literally, some of the most important stuff is in there. All the foundational stuff for options is there. And they just went over a major overhaul recently too. I suppose also on the hopium note here, although maybe a little bit less relevant as of recent, or for a while now, is of course the SPY futures. These are still bullish. We've been bullish on these for a while. We called last week a higher low. It's certainly looking like that right now. Knock on wood. And I'm just looking for a closure above that price action pivot high at 76.32 as the next sort of breakout validation, with targets up to 78 to 7,900. Probably just goes to 8,000 bucks at that point. I mean, what's a nice round even number? Once you get around there, and just stonks in general looking fucking green, man. So feeling pretty damn good about a lot of those calls last week. But Nasdaq still the laggard of this bunch. Still, I do think Nasdaq does have a low in here. It is technically below that previous low, but more importantly, did not break that low on a closing basis. So I don't consider this broken. And with that in mind, while there is going to be some hidden bullish efforts between this low from last week and also a phantom drive going all the way back from December, that is just one thing. That is one of the things that caretakers RSI can do that other RSIs can't, that I can't even do, like using my eyes, because it's using some sort of fucking magic. I would be looking for this one to trade up. So that probably helps Bitcoin a little bit as well. I think a good bet is at least 29,500. And honestly, if the rest of the market is strong enough, which it probably is, that's probably your low right there, and it's probably going up from there. And most importantly, the monthly did not close below the June low. So July did not close below the June low. Anyways, let me take a sip of this because I am damn thirsty right now. Yeah, SPY futures trying to make a new high today. Very possible. I don't know if it necessarily comes today, but I do think this week is probably a good bet, or this month. This is bullish right here. If you're a pattern bro, then you already know what this is. It is an ascending triangle, and there is an implied move to be made off of this, and I'm sure that's probably going to point us up towards about 8,000 almost. Let's see what that essentially looks like. That is just a shade shy of 8,000 at 79, I don't know, 79.45, 79.50-ish region, something like that. But yeah, overall, market's still strong. I know that goes against what a lot of people are saying, but look, I'm just following the trend, and still I remain with the exact analysis on traditional markets that we've been having really for the past year, which is I'm just not bearish or even looking for like a major high until we get into Q4 of this year. Individual stocks are absolutely different, of course, but the broad market in general, still strong. So I don't really see a reason to be like super bearish on this right now. In fact, when we get to Q4 of this year, I'm not saying it has to be a macro high. I'm just looking for like a big pullback, something like that. Maybe it ends up being a macro high, but at least a big pullback. This rally is starting to get a little bit crazy, to be fair. But even on the monthly RSI is somewhat constructive here. Coming back down, filling on all of these levels. I think that this is probably going to get up into one of those crazy numbers before this is all said and done. So is it really going to even happen by December? I'm not sure. I'm not certain. It would really take like a parabolic move in Q4 to get it up to like 85. Which is kind of where I think that one's going. Anyways, yeah. All right, let's go over to the comments. I'll scroll up to the very tippy top right here. Like I said, I got a new setup today, so I don't have all of my favorite fun tools. It's so sad. It's so sad, but I'm really enjoying setting up, man. It's broadened back the passion. I'm loving it, man. I'm fucking loving it. Anyways, we got Pizza first. He's looking at ZEC, 4-hour, daily, and weekly. All right, ZEC. This has been one of the better performing cryptos as of recent. Now, has it held up decently in the past week? Yeah, I would say yes. It has put in a higher. It looks like it's putting in a higher low right here. I'd say the weekly starting to confirm that as well. But let's see what the monthly looks like. Yeah, monthly, I would be treating July's low as a higher, as the low, essentially. If you're bullish, it's a super easy setup. I'm bullish as long as this thing's above the July lows, and I'm looking for it to pop back up towards those previous highs at around $700. And this looks good to me. In fact, I would even go as far to say I'm just bullish as long as you're closing weeklies above 440. So super easy setup right there. As always, there's no certainties, contrary to what the Herpety Derps was saying before in the comments. But in this case, a setup provides a probabilistic scenario, and most importantly, what the defined risk management is. So if you accept that risk, then hey, all good. But I would be leaning towards bullishness on this, especially if Bitcoin gets any sort of a extension of this bounce, or especially if it's that $6,000 to $7,000 target, should help this thing out quite well as well. But yeah, higher term timeframes, look, I don't own an ZEC. At the end of the day, it's a shitcoin, right? But look, I'm not necessarily bearish on this. If anything, I'd have to be bullish on it. And I mean, I quite literally am bullish on it, I guess. Just looking for some sideways and up there, man. Anyway, Straight Path says, GM brother, IREN weekly, please. Rip or dip here. Cool. I like these rip or dip questions. These are fun to play. It's like a Kalshi market. I think it's going to try a bounce this week, probably back up to like $45. Yeah. I think regardless of whether you're bullish or bearish in August, you're going to see a move towards like 43 to 45 region. It could go higher as well. It's very possible. I mean, you do have potential for hidden bullish divergence here between the low of March of this year and if and only if that July low is not violated. But for right now, short term, I think you got some upside. Doesn't necessarily imply that it's going to be a low, but should try a little bit of upside right there. Where would I get like bullish on it again? It's still got a ways to go. I guess the bullish view is that you're doing one of these like, oh God, we got fucking Chartmageddon over there. One of these falling channels long term. But it could still take a while to like actually resolve itself. At any rate, I think short term you got a little bit of upside there. If that constitutes a rip for you, I'm not quite sure. We all have different definitions of rip. What's up, Caretaker? I see ya. And ESS and Cosmicru and Cradency. Always good to see you, man. Maximuson and Lomachilla Azul and Arib says, by the way, if you want to check out prediction markets, there's Polymarket, a lot more degenerate though. Oh God. And you can do shorter time frames. I have seen, shorter time frames. You can do 15-minute on Kalshi, because if you can do shorter on Polymarket, that's not interesting to me, but that is fucking insane. Oh, wow. It's an up or down. Oh God. Look, I do have a Kalshi show link in the description below. it does get you some free money. At the same time, like, this is straight up gambling right here. This is fucking madness. I don't play the 15-minute ones. I'll do the hourly ones every once in a while, and the daily ones are kind of where I like to play. Like I said, the goal is to make enough money to buy an absurdly expensive firearm that then will be hosted on the new set. The new set, indeed. Anyways, Great White Hype says Tesla daily gap fill price. Do you want me to tell you where the gap fill is? I'm sure you probably already know that, but let's see. Daily gap fill, or is it gonna fill the gap? Let's go to daily. Oh, like all the way up here to 370. I think you got to bounce here at least. Where it's sort of your obvious bounce area be for like a high probability move, about 340. Wouldn't be asked for too much. Get back around there. Yeah, 340, retest the red 5 EMA on the weekly time frame. You almost always reconnect that with that moving average on every fucking weekly here. And if you don't, you go sideways until you do, more or less. So yeah, we'll get all the way up to 370. That's asking for a lot more. I'd feel a lot more comfortable with 340. Monthly time frame, wouldn't be surprised to see later this month, maybe it tries to move towards like 360. But like I said, for Tesla, you know, I was looking for that move between 280 to 290. I still think it might stab down a little bit closer to 280 and then try its like big bounce. But it is good to see it at least catching something of a bounce right there. Got that same sort of declining channel right there going on there as well. Those typically do break out to the upside, but again, they can remain in those formations for a while, which kind of makes them annoying. Anyways, 1236N says, how reliable are the advanced stochastic and caretaker divergence indicators on the 24 session versus regular trading hours? I just use 24-hour time frame if that's what you're talking about, or if you're talking about over here on the on this, I just keep it regular, man. I just keep it regular. Can you do 24-hour? I have not been doing 24-hour, but let's actually see how different do these charts look. Let me look at Bitcoin really quickly. Okay, what's going to look realistically different here? I'm just going to pick a random candle, and this is going to be 65,232, 66534. Okay, let's see. Hey, oh, with Bitcoin, it goes away. Oh, interesting. Yeah, with Bitcoin, it doesn't matter. So I guess it only will matter on traditional markets. Let's see, Bitcoin futures then. Yeah. Oh, this is electronic trading hours versus regular trading hours. Yeah, I'll keep it on electronic trading hours, actually. Okay, so I'm guessing you're just referencing traditional markets. Okay, so boom. I'm honestly not seeing that big of a difference. It's a little bit, but I'd probably keep it regular, to be honest with you. Yeah. Well, I do like 24 hours, but what plays more technically? 24-hour actually kind of playing a little bit more technically. A little bit more. It's hard to say. No, I'm going to keep it with regular. That's just what I've been using for a long time, so I'm not going to change it. Anyways, your question, okay, are you talking about like how reliable, like is the calculation reliable? The calculation is going to be the calculations no matter what. That will be reliable. So I'm guessing you're probably not asking about that because that would be a redundant question. It's not like it changes the math of it. I mean, like the inputs might change, but the machinery behind it, the engine behind it will not change. No, the inputs could change though, and which will change the outputs naturally. Anyways, you're trading pre-market on 15-minute time frame and exit before the market opens. Good luck with that in general. Very difficult to do in my opinion. Pre-market stuff is notoriously bullshit. So I traditionally don't put much weight on signals that happen, you know, especially like right before market opens. A lot of the time you get a lot of like, you know, games being played around those times. So I would say in general, I just don't really pay attention to indicators like right before traditional market opens when looking at traditional market, So I would say regular trading hours still. But whatever you do, man, keep it consistent. But like I said, I haven't actually looked that closely at the difference between 24-hour session and regular trading hours for the purpose of traditional markets. I don't day trade in traditional markets anymore. I only do long-term investments there. So yeah, I can't speak from experience, or at least relevant experience right now, because the last time that I was realistically trading traditional markets like actively on lower term timeframes was back in 2018, man. That was, God, man, close to 10 years ago now. Holy shit, that is, I'm getting fucking old, and that's sad, and that's scary. Anyways, we shall move on. DJ Z's says, update on NBIS, please. In from 173, looking for 250. Damn, man. That's a hell of a trade. Let's see. Let's see over here. Nice. I like this. I like this. I like this. It came down actually very close to my LARP line right there. Not that it needs to be perfect, but do I think it's going to go to 270? I think 230 is a damn good, very, very high probability. You might reject on that next pass though and come back down to base at 205 to 200 again, and then try that breakout move. So personally, I'd be taking a little bit of profit at 230 ish region. And if you do break above 230, do I think you're going to go to 270? Yeah. Shit, you might probably just go back to these previous highs. This is packaged software after all, so not my favorite sector right now, so I'd probably err on the side of cautious here. But you could sell some at 230 and then sell the next in batches between 250 and 270. I don't hate that, but again, I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just telling you what I would do in that situation. I would only look for 250 to 260 if you broke that 230 number. But I'd definitely be selling at 230 personally if I was in that position. You got a great position, man. It's a fucking phenomenal position. You're working on a bullish engulfing today. I mean, that is a strong move. So if it was me, I would be selling 50% around 230. And hey, if it gets up to 255, 260, great. If it doesn't, at least I took some profits there. Because you might get one of these where it gets that move up, boom, rejects, just like it has for the past few times, comes back down, bases back around here. You could reload here if you take some profits there, trade around the position, then goes up if it's going to go up. Or maybe it just breaks down from there and goes down to hell. No, I don't think that that's happening here in August, really. I think August is going to be a bouncy month for a lot of these things, even the semiconductors and packaged software. A lot of those ones are opening up this month on a bounce. Anyways, let's see. Cloud Debussy says QBTS. QBTS. Okay, cool. D-Wave Quantum. Yes, we've looked at this in the past, but it's been a while, I think. Weekly and monthly. Will we see 16 or 20? Oh, fuck. I forgot to go over the monthly look on Bitcoin for stochastic momentum in the RSI, but I can tell you the pivots are not met and they actually got higher. We'll do that in tomorrow's video. Daily, weekly, monthly, will we see 16 or 26 first? Okay, so 26 is literally a 30% move from where you're at right now to the upside. 16 is about a 20% move to the downside from here. So both of these, I think, are kind of asking for a lot on both sides, man. I don't know what your time frame is on this one. You're looking at a daily and a weekly. I don't think it's going to be happening on... I don't think it's gonna be happening in that time frame. Maybe at some point this month you get up to like 23.5-ish region to the downside. I don't really see any relevance of $16 to be honest with you, man. If I had to call it short term, a little bit more upside, probably up to like $21.5, but that's not going to help you. Your question is quite literally which one first, 26 or 16? Fuck if I know, man. I don't know on this one. I don't know on this one. If I had to call it, short term is up, but $21 is another like 20% away from fucking $26. Like that's a bridge too far right now. But if I had to call it short term, it is bullish in the short term. Like short term, it's likely to try some upside from here. You got hidden bullish evidence developing on the biweekly time frame. Weekly time frame is a higher low right here, so I do think your next try is the upside. But like I think $22.5 is a reasonable call there. 26 that is way far out there. Hopefully that was helpful. I don't know if it was for you, but if I had to call it short term, you do try some upside. I don't know if that's going to be enough though. Oh God, God give me the fucking, oh Jesus Christ. God give me the God give me the confidence of Peckham 08. Jesus, man. Oh my God. Steven Schickman says SOXS daily and weekly. Gotcha, man. All right, let's check this one out. I'm guessing this one's probably playing a pullback now. And see, the chart's too damn small. Yeah, a little bit of a pullback right there. Ultimately, I do still think semiconductors are bearish. But if we look at the actual index, should be opening up on the bounce, and indeed it is. And I think that this bounce could actually carry you up a lot more. I wouldn't be surprised at all to see this thing bounce up for like a real bull trap around 12,500 to maybe even 13,000. I think that's entirely possible here. You also have, okay, this is 53.98. This is, it's actually not going to be hidden bullish evidence unless if this week closed down a little bit. but I still think that you're going to bounce here. So that would mean I have to be a little bit bearish on SOXS, which is what you're looking at. Again, these are so difficult to play, man. These are extremely difficult to play. Extremely difficult to play. You even did get that move to $70 as well, which was I thought that was a crazy move, even though we called that one. Even that was fucking crazy, man. I mean, you go from fucking 70 to 50 so goddamn fast, man. Like these are just, these are painful to even look at. I think you're going down from here, man. I think you're going to go down a little bit from here. Maybe even back down to like 45-ish region, 40 to 45, before you try maybe another bounce. Yeah. I mean, look, I'm guessing you were probably long this thing. If you did, you must have had an amazing profit, because you were asking about this thing back around like $40, traded up to 70, man. Be taking my profits there. And then ZETA, nice. Let's see, do we have anything new on ZETA? I mean, I like following up on these things, but it is funny. It's like, it's still around the top side of that, yes. It's hinting at a breakout attempt this week, but so far, first attempt is going to push back here. I think that there's going to be another attempt before end of week, though. You do have some hidden bullish divergence here developing on characters RSI as well. So it's the same conditions as before, man. Daily closure above. Okay, actually, we could change around the short-term conditions a little bit. We can move it down for a daily short-term breakout above $23 on a daily closing basis for a targeted region back around $26. That still doesn't get you the breakout out of the bigger formation, but that is, that's a 20% move or so. So ain't bad right there. And then if you finish the weekly above about 25, well, at that point, yeah, I do think you got a real breakout, and you're probably looking at 30 plus. Until then, I still think you might get one of these, but short term, if it breaks out, then I would probably redraw my LARP lines. But for now, long term, I still remain, it is likely bullish. I mean, this thing is a lot more likely to resolve upside than downside. Definitely don't hate it there. But this month, look, I do think you probably pull back a little bit more short term to like 21-ish. 21 and a half, whatever. Small moves are big moves on these sort of things, percentage wise. Mark Toe says KSPI. Okay. KSPI. Trans King PJ says, does anyone else look at Krown in the suit outside a building and walk towards a camera in this intro and think, loose fur, bloody Morningstar? I have no idea what the hell that's in reference to, but yes. KSPI. What is this? Finance, rental, leasing. I actually do think that this thing is probably going to try some upside this month. Yeah, I like the weekly look right here. Who is this? Mark Taus. You have stop loss of $76. Okay. So you're playing the formation. $76 is that previous higher low. I think you could even move that up, honestly, to like $80. Don't have to risk as much. Because honestly, if this thing's going to be bullish, you kind of expect it to break out more or less from here and really not even go below like $84, let alone $80, let alone $76. So I think that's probably money just unnecessarily risked. But ultimately, do I think you're going to try and move towards $100? Yeah. I do think so. Your target is 116. I'm curious what 116, the relevancy of it. I'm guessing you're just going off of this high over here or something like that. Maybe. Maybe. See like 110 to 115. I want to sell along the way. But yeah, in the short term, this thing should try. I mean, you got higher low, higher low, higher low, same highs right here. The bias is on an upside breakout. Not certain about this week, but perhaps before, around the middle of this month of August, you really want to see it push through here around that time, in my opinion, just because if it is going to reject, that green 55 EMA is the exact area you look for on a rejection. So there is that. Until then, you still remain in a lower high posturing. You got same highs, but the previous trend was lower highs. So a little bit risky right there, but the setup is there. And yeah, man, I don't think it's a bad do here as long as you're okay with that risk. I would just I'd personally move my stops up a little bit. I just don't think you need to risk as much if it's going to turn around and reject. Steven Strickman's back. He's looking at GLD. Okay, this is a gold ETF. It's the one that I used to look at when I was in traditional markets a little bit more in a professional sense, I guess, looking at lower term timeframes and shit like that. GLD, man, gold really can't catch a bid, can it? It's had every chance in the world to bounce, and what do you get? You continue to get these lower highs. I mean, it's objectively bearish as long as you're below last Thursday's high, I should say, last Thursday's high. And you're getting hidden bearish evidence here on the daily time frame as well in characters RSI. And this is a classic, test the 50 neutral zone after a very bearish move and reject. So I'm I think short term, you try another downside move. I don't know if you're actually going to break down, but maybe like back down to 360, 365. If you start to close below 363 on a weekly time frame, then yeah, I'd call a breakdown and I guess no bounce before continuation to the south side. Ultimately, I'm very, very bearish on gold and silver as well, long term, but I don't know. I just feel like it'd be way too easy for this thing to just break down from here and not test shorts by having a corrective bounce up to, in this case, like it'd be like 380, 390, or sorry, more like $400, 390 to 400 if that were to happen. That'd still look better to me, but you know, can't ignore these signals right here. Low volatility on the lows with a lot of hidden bearish divergence. The bias is absolutely on downside continuation right here. Just my personal opinion is that I wouldn't play it right here. I'd still want to see a bounce and short into a bounce rather than just short it right here. These things almost always happen, and we really haven't seen a good one on this thing just yet. So again, that's just me putting my dumb opinion on price action. The TA is the TA. Below again, that 363 low on a weekly closure. Yeah, I'm calling a breakdown, and Jesus, man. At that point, what, you go to like 340, 330? Something like that. Anyways. Oh, man. Feedback to Krown and Fiboswani. This guy rocks. Yeah, man. I fucking love Fiboswani. He's been busy as hell recently. And realistically, there just hasn't been that much to update in the markets. So, you know, he felt like this past week was, you know, the best time to do it. So we did it. And hopefully, you know, as things get a little bit more heated up, we can do more streams in the not so distant future, man. All right, cool. Crypto Geesh says, NBIS. I think we looked at this one already at the beginning of the stream. Could look at it again if you really want. Weekly, monthly. Yeah, I still think this one's going up 230-ish region. I don't know about the long term though. I'm not a humongous fan of this long term. I think that's likely still topped, but you know, it could easily play out a bull trap move to 230, even all the way up to like 250, 260. Yeah, to be fair, I mean, the trend is still your friend here, so there is that, I guess. But monthly time frame, a lot of classic toppy signals here. Volume extremes, volatility extremes, RSI extreme. No divergence, to be fair. So at least there's that. If I was looking for like the perfect ones that I look for, but it's hard for me to see these things like do much more than a corrective rally here. But again, short term, I do think that's it's got some upside. All right, cool. Okay. Let's see. Whoa, there's a shit ton of explosive super chats that just showed up on my screen. Okay, bros on the weekly. Oh God, no, this can't be something. This cannot be a fucking, God damn it, it's Dutch bros. The epidemic of the younger generations abusing the word bro must be stopped. It must be stopped. I cannot, for the love of God, listen to another Cops video or another live PD video or another Hodge Twins video of especially women overusing the term bro. Stop it. Stop it. Don't do it. It's bad. It's very bad. Don't do it. It's perhaps one of the worst. This is worse than lit. This is worse than, oh my God, what other bullshit do they say nowadays? Cap. God, that one's fucking dumb. What other ones do they have? No cap, bro. On God. Shut the fuck up. Just shut up. Shut up. Go join the military or something like that. Anyways, bros on the weekly and monthly. Actually, I don't think it's bad long term, but I don't think you're ready to go to the upside from here. I think it's still in the holding pattern overall. And on the monthly, your holding pattern is highs at 74, 65, and your lows technically coming all the way down at $50, but at least, you know, probably a retrace down to like $58, $59, something like that. If it can hold the middle of the range, then I'll look for another retest of the top side of the range. Long term, I do think that it will break out to the upside. That is good. Let's see. Dead ass. Oh yeah, dead ass fucking dumb as well. Gang. Yeah, shut up. Just stop it. Swag. I like swag. Why, bro? You have to ask the kids, man. You have to ask the kids. Why are you overusing the damn term bro all the time? Like, you just say dude, or just don't say anything at all. It's literally irrelevant word almost in all contexts wherever you use it. Yeah. If you want to lose your faith in humanity, get on this weird lane of YouTube that I've seemingly got on, where you get inundated with video after video after video of of like live PD cams, you know, where cops now wear body cameras and whatnot. It's actually like really enlightening to me. You know, I feel like before body cams were super prevalent, you'd hear people complain about the cops all the time, and I'd be listening to them. I'm like, well, I haven't really seen that myself, but hey, you know, if this person's saying it, that sounds awful. Like these cops really need to be stopped. They need to be these guys need to be reined in. They're on a power trip, and certainly some are. Certainly some are. Absolutely some are. It's probably, I don't know, 10%, whatever. But a lot of these people are complaining. When you look at the fucking footage, it paints a bit of a different story. I'll put it that way. You will lose your faith in humanity for a while. Creighton C says, yes, a Spartan helmet and a Saruman figurine from the most famous fantasy novel of time, written by a devout Christian, screams satanic and not a guy who loves history, fantasy, and sword and stuff. Oh, yeah. Okay, what kind of sort of moron says this? Yeah, logical conclusions. I'm sure. Oh, this is also one of those fucking Israel derangement syndrome guys, too. Yeah, these fucking guys, they don't even know. They don't even know. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Lord of the Rings is about as fucking Christian as it gets. I mean, Jesus Christ, dude. Fucking J.R.R. Tolkien specifically said it. Not only that, but I mean, this guy, like, he turned C.S. Lewis Christian, or Catholic, I should say, really. Not that I really subscribe to religion, but I do appreciate Christianity, one, for its contributions to Western society, and two, Christianity is just, I mean, if you really understand it, or at least everyone has their own understandings, right? But in the way that I understand it after studying it for a while, and I've studied all major religions now, the cool thing about Christianity is that it basically pedestalizes the hero's journey, which I think is the most important story of all mankind. I mean, that's what effectively, you know, makes progress go forward. I think it's the cause of all good things with humanity, more or less. Not saying Christianity, I'm talking about the hero's journey, which is represented in part by Christianity. But look, that goes all the way back to like fucking ancient Mesopotamia. But yeah, some fucking moron like that's not going to know that because, well, he's slurping on all the propagandas, man. You've been demoralized. You've been black-pilled. And it's sad. It's so sad, man. It's so sad. It's so sad, but it's very effective. It's very effective as well. Anyways, AXTI for Eduardo Errazabel. Short-term up, again, another computer-related thing, it looks like. I think most of these things are having short-term bounces. This one has hidden bullish divergence on the weekly RSI. So I do think you got more upside here. I think it could be like a pretty big bounce too, you know, back to 90, maybe even $100. But don't hate me for being skeptical on something that looks like this, like long-term. I do think it's got a big bounce here. From $70 to $100 perhaps, you know, that's a tremendous move. That's a 30% move. God, more than 30% move. But again, a lot of just extreme signals here makes me apprehensive. I mean, these just look like shitcoin rallies. Anyways, Great White Hype says AMZN, or actually, let's go down to the lower term time for this first. I would invalidate my statements if it came back down below $45. That's where it would change around for me. Anyways, Great White Hype's looking at Amazon. Okay, AMZN. All right, nice. Yeah, big move. We were looking at this one last week. It was bullish then. So was Apple, and it is bullish now. And I haven't looked at Apple today, but I'm guessing it probably is too. Yeah, overall, really, really good. I wouldn't be surprised if it does come back and test somewhere around like 265 to 270. That's fine. But that would be where I'd be looking for a higher low if it even pulls back there to begin with. Overall, this thing wants to break out. Overall, wants to trend higher. It looks like the Mag 7 are going to take over a little bit again here as rotations start to go around the world and pick these guys back up. They're still not, in my opinion, going to be the biggest winners, but this is objectively bullish on the quarterly without any sense of doubt in my mind, at least. Hidden bullish divergence on the Caretaker's RSI Phantom drive right here, but it matters nonetheless as this thing does effectively resolve a multi-year consolidation going on from 2024 to most recently right here. This is its breakout attempt, and I do think that it is going to validate it. You got hidden bullish divergence on the weekly RSI as well. 3 drives right there, and volatility rising into a breakout. That's what we do expect. So I like this. I'm bullish on it, expecting just general new highs, probably on the, you know, on a few month long rally. There's going to be pullbacks in between, obviously, but especially as long as it remains above about 260, I'm very bullish on this. It's good. It's nice. It's beautiful. Chris Vela says, Hut Daily Weekly. This it's been a while since I looked at this one. I forget what it looks like. Data processing services as well. It doesn't have the same signals that I'm looking at elsewhere, though. This one actually a lot more constructive, to be fair. So I'm not as as like a knee-jerk reaction to say, I don't know about this. I do think that this one does have short-term upside momentum towards 120 to 125. You are looking at a daily and a weekly. So ultimately, I think the weekly is the one to really focus on here. It is a range, but technically speaking, this is a bias on a bullish resolution here. 125 to the upside versus 91.5 to the downside. I do think that you're probably going to test that 125 number. If you can close a weekly above it, I think that, at that point, you just got new highs. And I do think that will happen over time. I'm not necessarily confident about this month, but look, as long as it holds this range, that is objectively bullish. Below 91.5, okay, yeah, I'd flip things around and I'd be bearish and probably, I don't know if I'd call a top, but I'd definitely be calling some severe downside down to like 65, 70 bucks. Until then, sideways in here, probably takes a little bit of time, but does favor the bulls. Does favor the Boolahs. Josh Nepper says, rubs eyes just from waking up and sees K background. Nice. Indeed, man. Good to see you as well, sir. Luffy Muradova says, hello, sir. I need your permission to short. Oh, God. Luffy always has some of the best ones, but I don't know. Let's see. I haven't looked at this probably in like a week or two. I remember last I looked at it, it wasn't as good as it was before, but I don't have like a clear mental map of it. Would I short it right here? No, certainly not. I don't like the setup right here. One, I like to short on major potential pivots on the market, not on what would be like probably a low pivot right here. If anything, in the short term, it's probably going to try some upside. I do think you would get a pretty damn good opportunity to short it if you really wanted to on a rally, if it rallied back up to like 60 to 65 region. Yeah, that's where this thing looks a lot more appealing, just because the risk management becomes a lot more easy. I mean, as long as this thing's closing below 67, make that 68, I'd be bearish on it. But you could easily have a very big bounce here like this and then come down, rather than, I think it's a lot less likely it's going to just go down from there personally. If you're on a daily, which I think maybe you are. No, you do not give me timeframes, unfortunately. You know better, Luffy, sorry. And I also know better than just do fucking brush strokes on my damn screen. Yeah, short term, I think this one's going up. This one's going to play out a corrective move, very likely. And I would not be surprised at all to see it above $60. So yeah. Wouldn't be my first option to short at all, really. Realistically, the best shorts are just finding the weakest performing shit. Like, just find a random shitcoin. Let's do one for Mr. Asshole. He seems to really love Litecoin, which I'm sure is great. Yeah, see, here you have like an absolute dog shit chart. Absolute dog shit chart. I still wouldn't even short it right here, to be honest with you. I'd probably wait for a bounce. But if you got a bounce like 70 bucks or 80 bucks, this would be the one to short. It's just weak as shit. It's just terrible. Same thing with this. I mean, same thing. I wouldn't short it right here, no. But if it rallied up to, let's say, 40 cents, then hell yeah. I think that's probably a great do. But of course, I'd want to see it in real time. At any rate, most of these things are more likely to rally in the short term, is what it shapes up to, is what it's looking like to me. At least that's what we've seen today thus far. And even then, there is a whole new category of shitcoins that, the ones that just go down only, right? Is Hexchain even on here anymore? Oh my God, it is. No, it's not, because it's from December 2024. But I mean, a chart like this is the one, honestly, you want to really look to short, if anything. It just only goes down. It just only goes fucking down. So you don't even need, you can be wrong on your timing, and if you just wait, you'll probably end up being right. Now, you might get one of these popcorn rallies, which can run you over for sure. Definitely happens. Not saying that they don't. Even the shittiest of shitcoins gets that. But the idea is to wait for those popcorn rallies, then short, rather than waiting for it to play out a major downside move and then start to bounce. I think it's perhaps the right idea, but wrong timing. X Soko says CLSK. So yeah, it's not like that I'm giving you permission or not. At the end of the day, you're your own woman. But for me, I would not do that at this moment. Daily, weekly on CLSK. I like this higher low right here. We haven't looked at this in a long time, I think. I remember it came up a lot like in 2025. I think this one's got some upside from here. I think it probably trades back up to like $16.5, $17. And long term, I actually still like it. You do have a monthly higher low in here now, and you have same highs right here. So there's a real potential for a real macro reversal to the upside. It still requires the same conditions as previous, in which we need to see a monthly closure now above about 19.25. At that point, I'd be looking for big moves up towards 30. Until then, you know, it's still in a holding pattern with short-term upside, but I'd be bullish in the short term, especially as long as you're above last week's low at 1175. Not bad. Yeah. Not bad. I don't know if XSOCO was the one who was asking about it previously, but this one used to come up a lot, like a lot in 2024 and 2025. Haven't seen this one around in a long time. Andrew Plus is trying to play the bounce on MRVL, rip or dip. Let's check it out. I think this is another computer related thing. Yeah, semiconductor. I'd be calling for bounces here. I think most of these things are going to open up August on a bounce, as I've been saying. I think these things can bounce a lot, by the way, too. They've been extremely volatile on the way down, and they're probably going to have a very volatile bounce up. Like, for example, this thing could easily get back to like 240, 250 on a bounce. And I'd still probably be bearish on it. But do I think it's more likely to bounce here, or do I think it's more likely to make new lows? I think it's more likely to bounce here. So pretty easy setup. You know, last week's low at 162. Okay. You know, where would I be looking for? I think a good bet is at least 230. And I think this thing really could honestly get towards like 250, 260, 270 even. And that would be where I'd be looking for on a bull trap lower high. But for right now, yeah, I'd be looking for a bounce. So I'd say rip, if you're on a weekly, that is. Justin Cabrera says, please let me know your thoughts on SOFI chart. Okay. I remember we looked at this one last week. Don't love it, don't hate it, kind of irrelevant. I do think it is setting in a base here, but how long can this thing trade sideways is anyone's guess. We looked at this. I made these LARP lines way back here in April. And I was just like, probably go sideways for a while. And I'd probably even do the LARP lines like now starting from here. You know, I think it's going to go sideways for a long time. I think in the short term, you probably got to test to the top side, like $19, maybe even another test towards $20. But ultimately, I don't think you're ready to break out just yet, or this thing is not ready to break out, more accurately said. Overall, yeah, I think it's a holding pattern for a while. There is one good thing here, or I mean, one good thing. Like, it's not, like I said, it's not bad. It's just not great. But that you do have one thing that is certainly more good than bad, which is these higher lows here. And you got same highs right here. So there is an upside bias on this breakout. And if you do reclaim that $20 high or so, I think that this thing's going to head up another like 20 to 30% towards 25, 26 bucks. But for right now, as long as you're above $15 or $14.88 more accurately, I'd have a bullish bias, but I'm just not like expecting it to break out anytime soon personally. I think you got a short-term upside test towards like $18.50, $19, and you know, maybe just pulls back from there again and continues going sideways and boring the ever-loving shit out of you. It's very possible. But yeah, like I said, not great, not terrible, definitely not terrible. I think it just might be going sideways for a while though. Cool. All right, let me scroll down. Okay. And yes, Peckham, I'm very, very sorry, man, that we have different opinions. I'm sorry that you came across someone on the interwebs who has a different opinion than you. Holy shit. Anyways, Overplayful says RGC, quarterly mean reversion to the 5 EMA by Q4. Let's check it out. I don't think I've ever seen this one. Regional Biocidence Holdings. Oh my God. To the quarterly 5 EMA. I do think that you will reconnect with it. Yeah. Do I think that that'll happen this quarter? Probably. Do I think it'll happen by Q4? Very, very, very likely. Extremely likely. You really don't stay around, you very rarely disconnect with a major moving average like that for more than 2 closures. So you've already disconnected for 1. So I think it probably even just does it this month, or sorry, not this month, but this quarter. So between now and end of September. And I think it's trying to do a bounce right here too. So where would that effectively be? 11, that's a fucking massive move. 10 to 11 bucks, whatever. Yeah. Do I think it'll happen? Probably yes. Weird chart overall, but short term, you know, should try a bounce here. Even the weekly probably wants to reconnect around like $9 or so, 8.5, $9. Fad One says, ahoy, Krown. Ahoy, sir. Epic. We got our first shitcoin of the day. Epic Prime. I really wish I had my soundboard right now because my voice it's delisted, man. It's fucking delisted. Is it this? Maybe it's this. Hopefully it's this. Has this been delisted? No, it's still trading. God damn it, man. Why you got to do this to me? Why you got to do this to me? You did say on Mexi, and this is Mexi. I think this was just one of your popcorn rallies right there, and I'd probably be biased towards it just not going above that high anytime soon, or maybe even ever. But it's hard to say, man. There is a lack of history, and for the history that it has, it's just your general average shitcoin. If I had to call it long term, it's down. Does it maybe try a greater bounce towards 1.1 cents again? Possible, yes. That is a big move from where you're right now, admittedly. I mean, that is a tremendous move from where you're right now. But all I see is the standard cookie cutter shitcoin chart of destiny that almost all of these things go into. Zonkert says, I hate you're good. Yeah, man. Everyone says that here too. I actually don't hate that one just because it's like a nice one. It's like, oh, you're good. You're good. But it's very generic. But I have noticed that here for sure. Everyone says, no, you're good. No, like you say, oh, sorry. You're good. You're good. I think there's worse ones, man. But yeah, it's a lazy one. I agree. It's a lazy one. Explosive super chats. So like explosive poop emoticons. When it happens, it happens. Sometimes nature is calling. Arrow on the daily and weekly for music tags. Okay. Is this a stonk or a crypto? Because I know there's a lot of people used to look at this thing, but God, let's just. I don't even know if he's asking about this. Yeah, traditional shitcoin chart of destiny. I'm guessing he has an emoticon for a chart going up, so it must not be this one. So I'm just going to type in arrow and see what comes up on NYSE. Also not an upwards chart. I don't know, man. Hopefully you're talking about maybe a different market, perhaps. Let's see. We could go to Sparks. Never heard of it, by the way. BMV, what is that? Is that Brazil or something? You can go to fucking, is this Stockholm? Also not up. Also a traditional shitcoin chart. Incredible. I'm at the bottom of the charts here, man. If you want to let me know exactly which one you meant, I'll wait, or at least I'll keep an eye out for you. But haven't had much luck so far. Mr. D is looking at IREN. Okay, IREN. Whoops. It'd be better if I wasn't fucking retarded and could spell it properly. Okay, there we go. 3580. Okay. Okay, you longed at 3580. Nice. Okay, so you basically longed the previous or around the previous low. You are in the money by more than 10%. Fucking sweet. Nice. Scale out near 41.5. I'm not here to tell you what to do or be your dad or anything like that, but do I think you're probably going to get up to at least that target? Yes. Do I think it probably goes a little bit higher? Also, yes. I wouldn't be surprised to see it between 42 and about 44. But selling along the way is a good do as well, man. There's nothing wrong with that. And honestly, that's what I'd be doing in this situation. I think you caught a very high probability bounce right here just by the virtue of retesting a previous major low. So I do think it's likely to bounce here. In fact, if I'm shooting you straight, I do think over time it will bounce more a little bit, but somewhere around 41, 42, honestly. That's what I'd be looking for if you just kind of want to get in and out. But yeah, long term, again, you kind of have one of these falling channels right here, but it might take a long time for that thing to really get going. But at any rate, the biweekly time frame does have it should have some hidden bullish evidence here. It's not going to, because that one was closed lower. But look, if you fast forward like a month or two from now, I do think that it probably actually does try and move back up towards a corrective move nonetheless, but like $45, $50-ish. Again, it's just going to take longer, I expect. And I don't know where you even have your risk at this point. I would say 32. Cool. Chris Fellis has updated thoughts on 18-year cycle. That is not my line of work. It's not even Jason Bazzino's, although he talks about it a lot alongside his brother. It was actually Phil Anderson who created that concept, I believe. Do I have an update on it? I don't have an update on it. It's something that like I look at, but I haven't studied myself. And I don't like, I think it's fine to reference other people's work. Like I'm not talking shit about the Pazzinos at all. I think it's fine to reference other people's work. It's just, I don't like doing it because if I haven't done the study myself, I don't feel like I understand it well enough to explain it or to give you like an opinion that really has any value on it. So I prefer like not to say anything because I don't know. I mean, if it's the 18-year cycle, it's year 18, then cycle should be over soon, right? Other than that, man. Trans King says, I think you missed CHG. Okay. CHG, gotcha. All right, my apologies if I did miss that. CHG, okay. All right. Can you wear the Greek helmet in exchange, please? I hit the likes. Now do what I say. It's like that other guy. You better tell me it's bullish. Otherwise, I'm leaving. All right. Yeah, not bad here. Not bad at all, in fact. This one trying to resolve what looks like a multi-month long consolidation. Actually, sorry, make that a nearly year-long consolidation going back from June 2025. Does it have enough power to do it right here? I think this actually is a legitimate attempt. The weekly RSI is quite healthy right now and indicative that it will give a legitimate attempt here. So I still need to see a weekly closure above 604, but if that happens, I'm looking for this one to retest previous all-time highs and probably make new all-time highs. I mean, the monthly RSI also in a decent place here too. The real question is, does it pull back first before it tries to break out or not? If it pulls back, I'm looking at 570. I think that's fine. Yeah. All right, cool. Zonker wants to look at W and Q. What is that? W and Q. I am not familiar with that. You want to look at SPY? Yeah, we could look at SPY. SPY and ES are the same basically. ES is just futures contracts on them. I'm bullish on it, just like I'm bullish on E-minis futures. I think it might even break out this week. It's very possible. Tentative target would be 79, basically 8,000, but 79.50ish to be fair, you know. So I guess for this thing it would be 795. If you will. Very easy setup here. Last week's low is absolutely an invalidation at this point. If you're bullish, you have to be going off of that, in my opinion. I think it's probably it might just try today, man. This is good. Hidden bullish divergence on the daily. Weekly actually should have a slight drive right there. Probably will soon. Monthly overall good. Quarterly overall good. I'm still bullish on these things. I'm just not looking for highs till we get to Q4. Anyways, Yarbrook says Matt X. Okay, this is a new one as well. Oh, whoops. Maybe press an A when it's an A. Okay. Oh, already. Hold on. Let's go to monthly. Interesting one here. July kind of ended in an ugly sense, but when I go to the weekly, it's revealed to not be as bad as previously thought. The real question is, does it go straight up from here, or do you play at a greater correction down to like 188 first and then try an upside move? I mean, the problem with this one is that it's getting pretty damn aggressive on this rally, but it's not necessarily a bad thing. It's just you can have a violent retracement at any moment when you do moves like that. Anyways, if you're specifically on the monthly, look, short term, I do think it's going to try an upside move from here. This is trying to put in a higher low right here. You do have hidden bullish evidence on the daily RSI, and you do have a corrective move on the daily. So at least that holds true. Weekly, yeah, aggressive, but I got to be looking for short term upside from here back to like 220 maybe. Monthly, that's where things get a little bit less clear to me. Yes, it did end with kind of a longer tail on that monthly dildo, but until you actually come back down below the July low and close there, which is 191, you don't have divergence. You don't even have a local high. It's just continuation. And based off the daily, I think you're going to at least try a short-term upside move here first to like 214 to 220-ish region. I'd want to come back to it after that. But yeah, I can tell you exactly where I get bearish on this thing. Below that 191 low, I would get bearish on it. By the way, it's time for my daily Coinbase, my CoinDerp DCA. I've done an affiliate with them, of which, hey, we shall. Oh, you actually can't see my order here right here. I'm gonna bid 845. Just want to do this on a limit. Anyways, I've been accumulating some coins and I've been buying on the Coinbase because Coinbase, for my specific shill link in the description below, which actually I pinned as a comment here too. A lot of shilling this video, and there's my order right there. But Coinbase, for my specific shill link, will give you 80% off of spot trading fees. So I think now that with that link specifically, that will make it I think it would be the cheapest place to buy Bitcoin, especially if you do it on their advanced mode. It's super easy to get on the advanced mode. It's just on the bottom left-hand side, right? By the way, it's just a toggle, and that'll immediately reduce your fees, especially if you do a limit order plus advanced plus the 80%. That pretty much drives your fucking spot trading fees into the ground. So I'm just going to continue to do my daily DCA on this, $100 each, as you can see right there. Go onwards and forwards. This one hasn't been filled just yet, but it will be. It will be. We could get a little more aggressive too. Let's just go right to the bid. Just go right to that bid. There we go. All right, beautiful. Okay, cool. But yeah, and then also that link will get you 10% discount on derivative trading fees as well. And again, you know, if you want to reduce your fees, there we go, we got filled. If you want to reduce your fees on Coinbase, just use Coinbase fucking Advanced. Like that is the easiest way to do it. And then plus that link, yeah, you get even greater discounts. But again, the reason why I really want to get on Coinbase, not just because of daily DC and all that stuff, like great, whatever. I mean, you know, it is good. Like I do want to do that. But the main thing is of course, they're going to list options in Q4 of this year for US American retail plebs like you and I. And I think actually as of next month, they're going to release it for like international people. So that'll be really, really cool for the non-Americans. But it'll be the first time in a very long time where I'll be able to trade options on the same place that I actually trade futures contracts. So I don't need to keep 2 different accounts on 2 different exchanges in order to keep the margin required to actually cover myself if needed be. Because ultimately that is where the real magic happens in options. Again, if you follow the options program, if you want to do covered calls, covered puts, or if you want to cover any position really with the underlying stock or underlying coins in this case, it becomes a really fucking catastrophic thing when you start to look at, or when you start to have multiple accounts on multiple different things, just because margin, it's limited. So once we get that, then I'll be able to show live options positions on Coinbase, and I'll be able to do everything ultimately how I want to do it, which is fucking cool, man. I've been waiting for this for years now. So until then, I shall be a patient little boy, but yeah. All right. Let's see. Oh, we got some really good questions here. If you don't need Krown to give you certainty, smash the likes. If you need Krown to give you certainty, remember to take your meds. Indeed. Oh yeah. All right. All right. 0x Monopoly says, GM Krown, would you consider the daily Ethereum price action to be setting up for a head and shoulders move to the upside? Let's check it out. Last I looked at it, it actually looked better than Bitcoin, interestingly enough. But that was last I looked at it. Maybe it's different now. What time frame are you on? Daily. Do I think it's a daily inverted head and shoulders, basically? No, I don't think so. Wait. Do I think it's a daily inverted head and shoulders? No, I don't see it. Unless if I'm missing something. I mean, I just definitely don't see it right here. But by the same token, I'm not necessarily bearish on this either. Like, it's like Bitcoin. I think that you could have a downside move here easily to like 1750-ish region, whatever. But that to me would probably be another higher low. I mean, that would be a higher low on a weekly, obviously not on a daily, but on a weekly, yes. Ultimately, no matter what formation you call Ethereum, it doesn't really matter. The ultimate thing to be aware of right here for Ethereum is the weekly time frame. I'm looking at this blue 377 EMA. You can see that's where the previous bounce attempt held. That's where the current rally has been arrested. And that is where the 2025 low held. And probably if we extended this to 2022, it would have held there too. If you can break back above there, I think you got a big rally on your hands. In the short term, I'm not necessarily bullish here in the short term. It looked better to me if it popped back down first, had like a quick little bear trap. Like that's ultimately what I want to see. Like that would make me feel a lot more confident about these markets actually putting in macro lows here. It's like a quick bear trap, then you go up. Like just going straight up from the low always leaves a major question mark, and a lot of the time they don't hold. Again, higher low first is almost always a recipe for a real reversal, almost always. So for this thing, that would require a closure more or less above last week's high, or 1955, whatever. Very similar number right there. But if that happens, I mean, shit, man, I think you got a big move into the 2000s at that point. Probably even would start to call a macro low on that case too. Well, I wouldn't have enough evidence to call the macro low, but I'd be calling for a big move into 2000s. Anyways, yeah, man, it's all good, Peckham. We're just talking shit, man. We're just talking shit, sir. Hey, Krown, do you think Intel gets down to $70? Do you like the fundamentals for the long-term hold? I mean, I can tell you that I hold this one for the long term. but I've also like, okay, let me explain my position because it's going to get real confusing here. Let me delete this chart because all of these things have already played out. I bought a shit ton of Intel back in like 2022, 2023, and then a little bit more in 2024. My average price was like very low 20s basically. So on this move, I did sell a lot, but not all of it. I sold, I sold maybe a little bit more than 50% of my position, of my core position, around about 120. No, I didn't get the actual high. Oh my God, terrible, right? Worst trader ever. Do I think it's going to go down to 70 bucks? At some point, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, technically last week it did get there. During aftermarket hours, it was trading at 75, 76 bucks. That was a major target for me just based off of the, you know, the fact that it's probably going to retest the 2000, like literally the year 2000 high, not the number 2000, but like the year 2000 high, which is 75. Short term, I think it's going to bounce like most of these semiconductor names are likely to do in August. Do I think it could still get down to 75? Yeah, 70 to 75, whatever. 80. I think you've seen the majority of this downside move. But I still keep a core position. I'll put it that way. So do I like the long-term fundamentals? Look, the US government fucking owns it now. I mean, that is pretty crazy. At any rate, I keep a core position. So I've not sold out everything. I would probably buy some more if it did come all the way down to like 70, 75. But I did not get my pre-market order filled because I was about $1 lower than what it got to last week, which was like 76 and something rather, I think, or maybe it was 78. Memory's kind of failing me right now. Anyways, XREN says, morning, sir, SOFI, daily, weekly. I mean, we did look at it earlier, but if you really want me to look at it again, I guess I can do that. SOFI right here. Like I said before, I think short term you got some upside, yes, but it is, I think, just an uninteresting chart. I think you're going sideways for a while. The range obviously between about 20 bucks the upside versus 15 or 14.88 to the downside. I think you probably test a little bit of short-term upside, maybe like $18.50 to $19, but that doesn't really break you out. Long-term, I guess I'd have like a bullish bias on it, but just it's an uninteresting chart to me. I think you're probably going sideways within that range for, it might be multiple months, man. You know, a move like this typically doesn't get resolved like that quickly. Andrew Plus wants to look at CLSK versus Keel. Okay. We haven't looked at Keel today. Let's try this. Okay, CLSK is a numerator and it looks like a shitcoin chart, so that's great. Look, I do think CLSK might gain a little bit versus Keel. It might even get back up to like 5 on the ratio, but long term, I would absolutely be favoring Keel versus CLSK. Just looks like your traditional shitcoin chart to me. Just out of genuine curiosity, what does symbol KEEL look like? Yeah, another one that's like not great, I mean, it's certainly not terrible. It's just, is it ready right now? I don't know about that. It had its chance 2 months ago to really try a breakout. It failed. I think it's going to try a higher low where it's at right now. So next move probably is up here. Look, I would definitely be favoring this chart over the other one. I'll put it that way. The Video Kingdom says, how are we doing today? Lots of flushing down the toilet. Unfortunately, I have not copied over my beautiful soundboard to my new setup. You see this? This is the new computer beast behind me right here. Here, I'll blow up this bitch right now. This guy right here is a new computer beast. And anytime I get a new fucking computer, it's great and it's also terrible. It's great because I fucking love technology. It's terrible because so all of the things that like you're used to using on your old computer, they just for whatever reason don't fucking work, or like you forgot something, and in this case I forgot the soundboard. But yeah, man. God, I just have to go back to the fucking absolute mongoloid moron who thinks Saruman is evidence that Krown is demonic. Oh boy. The only thing demonic is your fucking IQ, sir. Like, it's very sad, man. Influence campaigns are real. They're real and they target a certain type of person. And I've spent, I've actually looked into this quite a fair bit because it really fucking bothers me. Like, it really bothers me because I didn't understand it before and I still probably don't fully understand it, but goddamn, man. The whole world, everything is an influence campaign. I mean, shit, even like my streams to an extent are an influence campaign. Now I am just trying to give out my information, like my opinion in an unbiased way. But of course, I'm going to have a frame of reference, like whether I like it or not. But there's deliberate influence campaigns out there. There's deliberate influence campaigns out there that effectively just try to subvert people, like the collective consciousness of like certain types of people. And they know that. They actually have studies on it. I mean, shit, the Russians are really fucking good at it. Like really, really good at it. Okay, there's a ton of super chats that just came in, but I actually don't see them. Hold on. Okay, maybe I'm just getting them right now. I don't know. Who knows what's happening, but I'll just go back to reading the comments here. MTCH, is it breaking out? Is this the one that we looked at earlier? Match group. It tried, failing so far. It probably is going to try, ultimately. But short term, it's a rejection. Short term, I think it probably even comes back down to like 38.5, 39. Okay, why are all those sounds coming through right now? Oh, it's going through all of the fucking super chats right now. I'll turn the sound off on those. Probably annoying. Look, at some point I do think that it will. At some point I think it's going to trade up towards 46, 50 bucks. But short term, is it trying to right now? It's trying to right now. It's getting rejected as well. So I don't know if today's the day, but I do think that it will happen. I do think that it will trade north of here, but don't be surprised if it pulls back a little bit first. Anyways, hey Krown, in your opinion, what are the cons of owning SPYI versus SPY versus VTI versus VOO? Let me first look at SPY. I haven't looked at this in like a long time. Just genuinely. Oh, this is a high income ETF. So this is like a dividend ETF. Well, dividend ETFs. I mean, shit, man. You're just not gonna you're not gonna get all of the price appreciation from the growth of the underlying stocks. You're basically just betting on dividends, which is probably not going to be that great. Probably not going to be that great. I mean, look at this chart compared to just SPY itself. And the difference between SPY and something like, is it VTI or VOO? VTI is, okay, that's total market. And then VOO is SPY. Okay, so the difference between SPY and VOO is nothing. It's just a price. It's just a price. It is the same thing. You're looking at S&P 500. VTI is literally the total stock market, like everything included. The SPY and VOO, those are just the S&P 500, so the top 500 American companies. And those are effectively the same charts. And then, like I said, SPYI, this is a dividend econ. It's, a high income ETF. So I'm guessing it's a dividend play. And if you're really risk averse and like you're old, then this can make sense. But I mean, just look at this fucking chart. Okay. Here's the last low from March of this year. From March of this year to where it's trading at right now, it's gone up almost 12%. Okay. Keep that number in the back of your mind. Almost 12%. Okay. Over that same period, if you were holding SPY, you made over 20%. Almost doubled your returns. I don't give a fuck how much your dividends are from that thing. If it even plays, I'm sure it pays dividends, because SPY also pays dividends as well. But maybe that's just like goes after high dividend stocks or something like that. I don't care how much dividends you're getting. You're probably not going to outpace that. Sir, this is a Wendy's. Yeah. Of course. Anyways, why do people like that even like come to these streams? I genuinely wonder. It must be some sort of like mental issue, mental health. It's a big issue. I have big mental health issues as well. I mean, I'm at least I know I'm a fucking retard. Like I have a speech impediment. I am dyslexic, and half the time I don't even type in the fucking ticker right. That's a real issue, but I'm aware of it. Be aware of your retardations. That is how you can retard max in the healthy way. Crypto Warlord says, Krown isn't demonic. He's just a little retarded and chill. That's exactly right, man. I'm retard and chill, not demonic and chill. So fuck off. Anyways, let me scroll down through a few more of these. Thanks, Nova Sparks. Yeah, man. Really happy with it. Shit, I'm in the wrong place. I thought this was a Chick-fil-A. I've never actually been to Chick-fil-A. Barely even went to Wendy's either, to be honest, man. Still looking to enter LIT higher or lighter. Okay. This thing. Robinhood invested 68 million in it. We'll definitely do what everyone else is doing. That's the way to do it. I was thinking it could be a hyperliquid competitor. I don't like it here. I do think you probably have a rally here, but I don't think it's going to like bottom out here and go straight up. I think that ultimately you're going to come down to like 55, maybe all the way down to like 45 or 50, somewhere in that, like somewhere in this lower block here. Is it going to be better than hype? That's a different question. I don't fucking know. And this is probably not what you're talking about, because this is a lithium and battery ETF, and you're talking about lighter. So in the future, if you could, it's a fucking crypto. Jesus Christ. I don't know, man. The problem with cryptos is 99% of the time you should just say it's probably going to go down. Whatever rally you get is probably going to fail. It's probably going to go down. At least hype has proven itself over a longer period of time than this thing has. Not saying that this thing can't. Ultimately, it's been around since 2021. It's failed mostly. So I don't know. Robinhood invested in this thing, and this is all it could do. Hard to say. Yes, I had to exit AENTG for the exact reasons that I've explained for over a month, actually. Does Gandalf give you financial advice? Sometimes. Sometimes it's Saruman, and not great. My doctor told me to join a Krown session at least once a week. That's exactly right. It prays the gay away. SPYIs like USDT, kind of, I guess. Kind of. I don't know. I think dividends in general, especially if you're like under fucking, 65 or 70, are not ideal. If you're really risk averse, I guess that could make sense, but in my opinion, don't really care. At least at my age, I can understand why someone would though. Trans says, Krown, sorry for re-asking, but can I check your 63,750 target? Is it CME or spot, sir? I think you're getting confused with the Revin Ribbons midband. That's 64,450 or 64,560 actually. 64,560. That is on CME. That is on CME. Whenever I reference the Revin Ribbons, by the way, I'm talking about CME. See, maybe IBIT has some here. Oh, is IBIT trying for a bullish engulfing? Let's check it out. Let's check her out. No, it did not trade lower. I just realized that your PC has a ticker. Yeah, man. Basically, the sky is the limit for this thing. I'm just trying to like figure out what sort of cool shit I can put on there. But there's actually there's not just a ticker on there, but there's also, you can't really see it that well, but there is a minute chart on there as well. That is actually live and current, as well as a news feed on the bottom as too. Yeah, no problem, Trans. Yeah, 64,560. 64,560 it is. Short MU 1000, says Arib. Based off of the other semis I've seen today, I don't know. Oh, okay, 1,000 is much higher. That's good. Yeah. Yeah, if you get a corrective rally around there, I think that would be appropriate. Or, it could trade up closer to like 1050, maybe even 1100. But I think somewhere between that and that $100 spread, which admittedly, that's a 10% area. But yeah, that's kind of where I'd be looking for on a bull trap move to get up to. Something like that. Pollos Hermanos. Is that a reference to, what is it, Breaking Bad? Is that a real store, by the way, or a real restaurant? Can you check NIO stock on the daily? Sure, ma'am. NIO, let's see, how long have we been doing this? Oh, just an hour and 40. No problem. Short term, I think a lot of these things are bouncing. This thing's no different. I wouldn't be surprised to see it get up to like 515 this month. The real question is, can it put in a higher low here? And I am not optimistic for such things because the long-term chart looks like this, but it could easily have a short-term upside move. I think 515 is not that bad. Even if the move extends a bit towards 575, $6, like doesn't really change your long-term or anything like that, but could easily happen over these next few months. But yeah, long-term, of course, I'm going to hate something like this, man. You already know. Short-term, I just think I'd just be biased towards a rally here. How high does it get? I think best case scenario would be like $6.5. Yeah. Am I adding to Robo? I have not looked at it just yet. And No, I wanted it to get down to about $74 last week. I didn't get that. That's just me being too greedy here. And so I'm going to miss the position most likely that I wanted. But, you know, look, I'm always going to stick with that. It is what it is. It is what it is. Yeah, I still hold my full position in Robo, though. Like I've only added to that position over time. I added somewhere around here at about 69, like back in, I don't know, back around the beginning of this year. Basically, I sold on my Rob T and then bought this. Right now, they're actually trading on par today, but still, I think Robo's the long-term winner here. At any rate, no, my bid did get missed, but it was a small position anyways. Like I have my core position here. I don't really want to be doing big buys anymore and really anything at the moment. Yeah, but yeah. Anyways, Krown, that lighter. Give me the fucking. How about you just give me the fucking ticker? Makes it a lot more simple, man. Otherwise, I have to guess. Could you share your opinion on ENTG, please? Their earnings are due for tomorrow. Could it bounce to 140? I think it could have corrected move there. It could. Let me bring it up right here. Where is it? Still I still have it on my list. Trading 124 right now. I think you could. I think like 133 is a decent bet. 140, kind of asking for a lot more there. You basically be hoping that this is a reversal right here, which would be certainly a bear trap. A bear trap, which would have, which did get me, to be fair. But yeah, I do think you got some upside here. I think 133 is a good bet. 140 kind of pushing it in my opinion, but 133 I think is a very high probability, even just as like a short-term corrective move. Yeah, I don't know. Pick it up from there. Maybe I end up regretting this one, and I will never look at it ever again. Ticker is. I literally was looking at that one. Oh God, fucking hate all these shit coins. Just garbage shit. Just garbage shit. Better than the previous one, if this even is the one that you're trying to look at. You do have a setup here. I'm not saying that I would take it, but at least it is a setup. 197 as a range low. You close below there. I think it's a breakdown back down to like 170-ish, whatever. Until then, as long as you hold that range low, you do have some hopium here for this playing ping pong within this range between 237 and 197. And if you break above 237, then you should probably at least retest the previous highs and probably make new highs. But other than that, I don't know, man. A lot of these shit coins, when they get these popcorn rallies, like it inherently makes me extremely skeptical. Is my skepticism, right in this particular case? Maybe yes, maybe no. Generally it is, but there is the every, one-off chance where it actually does end up being good. Is this going to be the one? I have no fucking clue. Absolutely no clue. Anyways, does USDT pay an 11% dividend? I hope it doesn't, because if it does, that is not a good sign. that is a very concerning sign if it does, man. Like riskless high free returns. That is just a code word for you are taking on massive risk somewhere. 96, 97. Okay. Capcom again. Nice move. Nice move there. I still think it's kind of a sideways chart here because you don't have that higher low in yet, but maybe my LARP lines is something like this. I think it probably does reject from here and comes back down, tries for a higher low, maybe closer to like 35, 30 or something like that. But overall, I do like this. Like it is good. It is bullish. It is. I think that this is your next macro low here. You got hidden bullish evidence there in characters RSI, bouncing off the green 55 EMA, like it's textbook. So short term, if it pulls down to like 36.50 or 35.30 or whatever, I think that's okay. But I would be bullish as long as you're especially above about 3,500 on a higher term time frame closing basis. Like that looks like the next macro higher low to me. It looks great. Quarterly also has hidden bullish evidence developing here. Will be confirmed at end of quarter if it finishes, especially here or higher, I should say. LIT pumped because buyback. Nice. Palantir is another one that I've tried to get a little bit too cute on, but let's see where it's at now. 125. Still going to be patient with that. I probably don't even get it this cycle. Just is what it is. You got an obvious setup here, but I wouldn't have an opinion where it's currently at right now. The setup is quite simple. Your range low coming in at 105 and 32 cents. And actually last month's high is a pretty good short-term breakout area. If you can even just close a daily or especially a weekly above there, I'd be looking for a move all the way back up to 162. That's where this thing starts to actually look like it is putting in a macro low. But until then, I wouldn't really have a call where it's currently at right now. It's, I guess, if anything, like slightly more leaning upside, but not, certainly not conclusive, certainly not high probability in my estimation for me to call it. Hell yeah, Piddlecat. Yeah. I actually have a lot of these statues and whatnot too. But Saruman is, it's just a fucking badass one, man. It's just so fucking badass. So that's one that gets the position for now. But I wonder if I can put more elsewhere. I actually have one of Ellendale. He's up there next to the hoplite helmet, but unfortunately can't actually see it because my camera just cuts it off. But that is actually one of my most favorite ones. I also have one of Minas Tirith and the Argonath. I should probably put those up. Those are fucking sick too. Anyways, Trance says, "Hey Krown, whatever happened to the sword you had hanging from the wall?" Oh, oh my God, I'm blanking on the name right now. Ellendale sword, but it's not because it was recreated as previous Narsil, and then, dude, this is gonna drive me fucking crazy. Andoril, yes, the Flame of the West. Yeah, it's in my other room. I'm gonna mount some swords here. I don't know if I'll be able to mount that one because that one has like a whole fucking what's it called, like housing system for it and everything. Might not work out too well right there. Do you collect other things? Guns, swords, nerdy shit. I don't really collect Legos, but I have a couple of them that are fun. Did you use the Rhino for wood during the winter? No, man. It's actually on my desk, on my previous desk in the previous streaming room. I got to bring everything over right now. Everything's fucking barren, man. It's sad. It's real sad over here. It's real sad over here. Let's see. Monopoly says, Krown, when you're using fib retracements on the weekly and monthly, do you typically use swing high to swing low, or do you find yourself using market cycle highs and market cycle lows? It depends what you're trying to look for. If you're using market cycle highs and market cycle lows, then you are naturally going to try to plot where other macro highs and lows are going to come around. But just because you use like it on a weekly swing high and a weekly swing low doesn't mean that it's not useful. It's just you're looking now for weekly swing highs and weekly swing lows. It's all relative to each other. Yeah, the Lord of the Rings Legos are pretty cool. I only have I have one of those, but I don't have it anymore. I left it in Dubai. It was the Rivendell set. It's amazing, man. Like I hadn't done Legos since I was a kid, but I just randomly bought one when I was in Dubai there, and it was so much fun putting it together. And then I did buy the Minas Tirith set as well, but it hasn't shipped yet. I think it's like on back order or some. Guns, options, crypto, shitcoins, fanatics. Exactly, man. It's an eclectic community here. Yeah. Elsa also has the Lego Disney Castle. I need to put that one together. It's like a massive 8,000 piece behemoth. But yeah, I mean, it's actually surprising how much fun Legos are, like especially late at night, you know. You know how it goes. Anyways, Not Sleepwalking says, "Evening Krown, what's up, man? Must be in Europe. I built an ETF flywheel as a UK investor. What are your thoughts on building them? What do you even mean as an ETF flywheel? That would be my question to you. I'm focused on only growth ETFs. Last two are stabilizers. I would have to know the specifics of kind of what you're saying, rather than like it kind of just sounds like buzzwords to me, to be honest. Not trying to be like rude, but yeah, I'd kind of have to know a little bit more like about what you're actually trying to do there. An ETF flywheel. I have not heard these terms put together, to be honest with you. Chad Rose says, "Any luck on Coinbase referral discount allowing current users?" Yes, it will. They're setting it up. It's been very fucking frustrating for me because they keep on telling me like, "Hey, end of this week. But now they said in 2 weeks it should be done. But there is one major stipulation with it, and this kind of sucks. If you had a Coinbase account previously that you have not really used, like traded on for more than 90 days, then yes, you will be able to get on the referral, which will give you those 80% discount on fees. If you have been active in the past 90 days and like done trades and whatnot, then they will not allow you to do that. Now, can you create a new account and jump on the referral? I don't know. I mean, maybe, I guess, hopefully. That would be a nice little workaround, but obviously that's fucking annoying, man. So yeah. You need to drop an address for background items to be sent to you. I would love to do that, but I'm afraid someone's going to send me anthrax. And also, I don't want to give away where I live. All good, Monopoly. All good, man. Trans King says 7:17 p.m. here in UK. Hell yeah, man. Late night, baby. Fucking late night. Thanks always, Krown. As weird as it sounds, you became kind of a mentor in a really friend buddy way. Yeah, man. Look, like I'm glad that it comes off like that, man. You know, obviously it'd be better like if you were in person. You know, you could actually like reference someone, but it's the next best thing, I guess. So I'm just sharing what I know and sharing, you know, how I look at things. I'm not saying that's the only way to do things. I'm not saying that I'm always right. You know, I'm not, obviously, but I feel like over time I've learned a lot of things that have at least helped me create a real living out of this. And, you know, if people can take something from that, then that's fucking awesome. Because I don't know, more people making money in this world is a good thing. Otherwise, you turn out like one of these sour assholes, like a couple of the people earlier in the stream, like that fucking Zhao guy. How pathetic. The other guy, it's like, dude, go out there and do what you can fucking, don't black pill. You black pill, you're bad. You've been demoralized. You fell for the demoralizing campaign. And I'm not trying to say this to be mean and rude and all these sort of things, but like I said, everything is a fucking influence campaign on the internet or everywhere. Some of them are deliberate, some of them are not. The deliberate ones, especially at a state level, are fucking crazy. And like I said, it's really eye-opening when you look at these sort of things. The enemies, even though you might not think that they're enemies, because they probably also have subverted you to think that they're not, will make you think these sort of things that you don't even fucking trust, that you just give up and you black pill yourself and you become depressed. And you just waste your fucking life. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's bad. It's bad. Anyways, I put together a Lego Porsche for my girlfriend, bought for me for Christmas a couple years ago. Last week, my bastard cat. Yeah, man. There's no building it back after it's done, too. I mean, it's like you get it done and you throw away the instructions and then, oh, well. Oh, well. Thanks, David Plano. Hood. Yeah, we could look at Hood. Cool. Symbol HOOD. We haven't looked at this one today. I don't think it's going to do anything like super interesting in the short term here, but I don't think it's bad. You have a range going on and you just kind of rejected the range high. So I would be anticipating it to come down closer to that range low. I think somewhere between like 75, 80 bucks, maybe tries for a higher low there. But it's not bad. I mean, objectively, it's bullish as long as you do hold above about $70. It's just, is it a big mover in the short term right now? Maybe not. Might even try for a low right here. But even then, I mean, if you get another run towards 110, 120, I don't think you're going to break out. I think it's in a holding pattern for a while. But it's not bad. Like, probably long term, it does break out to the upside. It's just, how long can you go sideways here before attempting that move? And what other things could you be in that are moving to the upside that you're not in while you're holding this? I mean, that's the question that I ask myself. With the previous monthly close of Bitcoin, you think it's more likely now that it still gets a monthly hit in bullish divergence like cycles before? Let's check out the monthly RSI, because it did not make, it has not gone lower. I mean, to be fair, you did have hidden bullish divergence here from August 2023, but that was not like low to low. So not really like fair, or not really consistent with the previous history. So yeah, right now, no, you're not going to have hidden bullish divergence. The RSI for June got down to 40.72. This one over here got 40.34. It's really close. Maybe CME did it. Let's see, 41.11 versus 40.88. No, it's not going to have it either. Maybe IBIT. Oh, IBIT doesn't even have the history for it. So yeah. Do I think it will? I mean, if it does, then you got to be anticipating like decently new lows. Probably close to 50,000 bucks if that were to happen. Am I of that opinion right now? Not really, but like I said, I have to be open towards bearish things as long as Bitcoin is below our pivots. And more importantly, until monthly really starts to confirm the bullish pivots, which now we got to wait a whole another fucking month for, or at least I do. I mean, you can do what the hell you want to do, but I would prefer to wait for that before making any major calls. I have to be open towards that. So, is Alloy showing signs of reversal? I don't know. Haven't looked at that one today either. Realloys. Depends what time frame you're on. If you're on a weekly, I do think you got a rally here. As is the daily, probably up to like $11, somewhere around there. Is it a reversal? I'm guessing you mean like, is this the next low? It is certainly a low, but if you're talking about like up only from here, no, I certainly not say that on this thing. I think you got some short-term upside, but you know, back up to like $17, $18 highs. That's a whole different universe. Yeah, I would probably not say that as of right now, but I mean, just kind of has like a shitcoin chart here. But short term, yeah, I think you try a little bit of upside. It really just matters what time frame you're talking about, more or less. Trump has been saying buy magnets, meaning rare earth stocks. Okay, fair enough. Maybe there's other better ones. There's perhaps other better ones, perhaps. Yeah, I'd be curious to see what the good ones look like. Is Grinder looking good? I don't know. Grinder. How did this thing go? It's doing well. Yeah. I think you're probably hitting a range high here at 1870, but this is not bad long term. Gaze to the moon. I wonder if they allow trans people on this, or if that's not allowable. I wonder what the gay community thinks about that. Can you take a look at ON? Okay. Simple ON, semiconductor. Don't like semiconductors right now, but I do think short term, a lot of these things want to bounce. This is certainly not acting like it wants to, like the other ones are, but you got a lot of bullish divergence to develop. Oh, actually, maybe less so. I would still be defensive here towards a corrective bounce first. I mean, it could trade all the way back to $100 and still look to me like it wants to top. I'd be looking for it to bounce, honestly, between like 95 to 105 region. Come back to it after that. Long-term, not a humongous fan of it, personally. MicroStrategy. We could look at MicroStrategy. It's been a while since I've checked in on this thing. Let's see. Let us see. Really not bouncing with Bitcoin. And this is kind of what I mean with leveraged ETFs, volatility decay. When volatility is low, the leveraged ETF, which effectively is MicroStrategy, is not going to catch the same moves that Bitcoin is. Bitcoin's moved up in an appreciable manner from the June lows, or July lows, I should say. MicroStrategy has not. Still hanging on to those lows. Now, do I think it's going to bounce from here? Probably yes. But I don't know. It really depends what time frame you're looking at. I would not be surprised to see this thing at some point in this quarter try a move towards like 120, 130 region. That wouldn't be very surprising. In fact, probably likely. Yeah, we need to have gay for TA on Grindr. They are not including my gayness. They are not including my version of gay. Okay. What are all these emails that just came through? Is there anything important here? There are some important things, some good things. Oh, yes. Oh, that's great. All right, cool. PAVE is a rare earth and infrastructure ETF, long-term bullish, says Chad Gambler. Let's see. Never looked at this thing before, I don't think. Yeah, long-term it has been certainly bullish, and I think it's probably bullish from here too. This is good. This is good. In fact, I'm going to add this one to my list. I don't really want to buy it here, but I think next major correction I perhaps will. Yeah. Yeah, I definitely don't want to buy it here, but next major correction, I will probably buy it. LGBTA. Yes, indeed. We need more gay apps for TAers. Hey, bro, do you like Elliott Wave? What? No way. Me too. What? You like fucking moving average? You're a fucking... Oops. Krown, thoughts on XLE? You could definitely see that that's a conversation that would happen, though. Just like gay people. Do gay people treat ladyboys as gay, or do they treat them as girls? That's a real question. Anyways, XLE. Yeah, I like it. What is this thing? Energy ETF. I think this one probably has a low end from July. I don't know if it's ready to make new highs like this week, but if it came down to 57.5, that's fine. I'm generally bullish on this thing as long as you're above about 56. And I do think, I don't know, maybe it's this month, maybe it's next, but you probably do retest those highs. Hey, Krown, any thoughts on a pullback in SPY soon? Last I looked, the pullback was canceled. Let's check it out. Hey, oh, fuck my... See, this is what I'm talking about. New computer, and my mouse just decides at random that it wants to not work for a second. That's annoying. Why is that happening? Why is this happening to me? I mean, you're right at the previous highs right here. So if it wants to try a little bit of a pullback, it's not that surprising, I guess, if it wants to come back down to like 76.18 or so, you know, something like that. I don't know necessarily what pullback means to you here. Overall, I'm bullish on this. Overall, I think it's very likely going to make new highs this week. Grid is a U.S. energy grid ETF. Okay. I hear our grid infrastructure is actually like one of our biggest potential weak links or weak points that could be attacked. Weekly, really like this as a low. Really like this one for a short-term rally back to like 190 or so, 188, 190. Long-term, not a humongous fan of this actually for this rally continuing to new highs from here. I mean, I guess you will have potential for hidden bullish evidence if it literally bottoms out from wait, what? Oh, yeah, from July, which the weekly does say that is probably going to happen. So I guess I would be bullish on it, but I don't know how much more this one ultimately has to go. But you got 1, 2, 3 drives of hidden bullish evidence here on character RSI. You got a beautiful low, perfectly on the green 55 EMA. You're about to reclaim all major movement averages. I think your next move is a corrective move back to at least 188. And then if it does continue up to 196 to 200, then at that point, yeah, it's going to be bullish for another quarter. Problem is you will have bearish divergence if it does fail here, and you will absolutely have big bad issues if it does come back down below last month's low of 166.40. That starts to confirm bearish divergence on the monthly, quarterly, and maybe even the 4-month as well. Let's check it out. No, but also would not look great. Yeah, man. Use a wired mouse and it will happen. Look, I prefer to use wired stuff in general, 100%. I always have in my life. This is my first time really using wireless, but the problem is that my computer is all the way back here. So having like a bunch of wires kind of going over my shoulder is, well, it's annoying. So I would prefer not to, but I already got one for my damn keyboard because that one continued to give me issues here and there. Hey, what's up? What's up, Mr. Van Duysen? It's been a while, man. Been back from holiday in France. Oh, how dare you? Arrivederci? I don't know if that's the right one. Krown in a new setting? Yes, man. Hey, check it out. Wait, wrong one. Check it out. Have you seen this? Wait. Have you seen that? Have you met Saramon? He's right there. He's right fucking there. And if you, oh, dude, there's also a Nazgul at the top too. I need to get another camera that can angle upwards so you can see everything. That is next on the list, but yeah, it's coming. It's coming. $15 later, it's coming. Billions in BEAD funding ready to be unlocked for infrastructure, fiber, and telco. BEADs? I have understood that term in a much different context, so I am being thrown for a loop here. If you catch my drift. Yeah, once I'm done with all this, we could probably get back to some gaming streams. I actually now have a computer that can just chew through these bitches, no problem. Zero issue, hopefully zero issue. And I figured out the last computer actually was capable of doing such things as well. It's just I didn't know actually how to turn on the fucking computer fans because I'm an absolute mongoloid boy. Great job, Krown. Completely fucking everything up. But yeah, it is what it is. Anyways, I think we'll end the stream on that note, man. It's just been over like 2 hours here, so I think that's good for today. Yeah, we're gonna end the stream on that note. My voice is starting to fail me a little bit here too, but hey, it's been a beautiful stream. Hanging out with everyone in the new cave. We shall reconvene tomorrow just for a regular video, and then of course on Wednesday and Friday for more live streams. Once I get everything settled, we probably will start to do gaming streams again. Just need to find a good game to play, and other than that, just want to wish everyone the best as always. Take care, much love, and see you. Hey, if my mouse can work, I can't turn off the stream. The mouse won't work. Motherfucker. This is annoying. This is very annoying. I actually can't turn off the stream right now. All right. I'm gonna have to plug this in. This is stupid. All right. Let's see. Okay, there we go. I have a mouse now. All right.